Hello students, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn new lessons from your English NCERT Marigold Unit 4. Why? Alice in Wonderland. Why is a poem which we are going to read and enjoy now. Why? I know a curious little boy who is always asking why. Why this? Why that? Why then? Why now? Why not? Why by the by? He wants to know why wood should swim, why lead and marble sink, why sun should shine and wind should blow, and why we eat and drink. He wants to know what makes the clouds and why they cross the sky, why sinks the sun behind the hills, and why the flowers die. Some of these whys are not too hard to answer if you will try. Others no one ever yet has found the reason why. New words: curious, lead, marble, sink, reason. The poem is very short. Let's read it again. Why? I know a curious little boy who is always asking why. Why this? Why that? Why then? Why now? Why not? Why by the by? He wants to know why wood should swim, why lead and marble sink, why sun should shine and wind should blow, and why we eat and drink. He wants to know what makes the clouds and why they cross the sky, why sinks the sun behind the hills, and why the flowers die. Some of these whys are not too hard to answer if you will try. Others no one ever yet has found the reason why. These new words: curious, lead, marble, sink, reason. The word curious or curiosity is the related theme of this poem. The poem concerns about the curiosity of a little boy who loves to ask questions. Here are some exercises. Reading is fun. Name a few things that sink. List 3 questions that the little boys ask. What sort of a boy is described in the poem? You have 3 options: sad, curious, brave. Let's talk. Rami is a curious little boy. He is always asking questions. One day he came home and asked his grandfather questions like, why can't we look at the sun during a solar eclipse? Why can't we touch the sun? Why can't we go out to play in the dark? Discuss these questions with your teacher and class. Do you know the answers? If you know the answers, you can try yourself. Next exercise, we have wood building. Fill in the blanks with words from the poem which rhyme with the colored words in the sentences. Why? Why is in red color? Why is the dash so high? Do you know? No is again in red color. The color of dash? Question mark. Have you found who made the dash? Question mark. Put the glass in the sink after you finish dash. Full stop. Here the word found and sink are in red color. Question number 2. The spellings of these words are jumbled. Put them right and make sentences of your own. As you can see, WOKN. The correct arrangement of the letters should be no, KNOW. Next, WISM. Next, DAEL. Next, BLARME. Next, LLIHH. Moving on, let's write. Discuss and write. A. Why do cats and dogs fight? B. Why do we walk across the road, not run? C. Why do people like ice cream? Write down at least 2 questions using why. Next exercise, fun time. Painting with onion halves and bottle tops. Onion halves and bottle tops are written in capital letters and bold letters. You need 2 onion halves, 2 bottle tops, watercolor, platform mixing. Method. Take an onion, cut it into half. Mix some paint of any color with a little water in a plate. Dip the cut side of the onion into the color. Now press it on a paper to make designs. Press the bottle top into the center of the design. You can use another color for the other onion half and the other bottle top. Let's sing. Again, we have short poem here. It's supposed to be sung, but here we will recite it, read it out. The man in an onion bed. I met a man in an onion bed. He was crying so hard, his eyes were red, and the tears rolled off the end of his nose as he ate his way down the onions rows. He ate and he cried, but for all his tears, he sang, "Sweet onions, oh my dears, I love you, I do, and you love me, but you make me as sad as a man can be." John NCERT. Next lesson is a prose, is a story. The title of the lesson is Alice in Wonderland. Let's read it. One day, Alice was lying under a tree listening to her sister reading a story. Suddenly, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. He had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket, and as he hurried away, he said, "Oh dear, I will be too late." She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk, it wore a red waistcoat, and it carried a watch. Alice wondered, a talking rabbit, a rabbit who wears a waistcoat. Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. Here you can see the little girl is Alice, and you can see the rabbit with an umbrella under his arm and holding a clock. The rabbit started running and Alice followed the rabbit. The rabbit suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. Alice jumped into the rabbit hole too. The rabbit went down and down and down and down into the rabbit hole. Alice said aloud, "Where am I? How many miles down have I fallen? I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth." She wondered, "Will I slip through the earth to the other side?" Thumped! Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. She looked around quickly and suddenly saw the white rabbit again. It disappeared, saying, "Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting." Alice stood up and saw a small door about 15 inches high. It was too small for her to go through. She saw a glass table with a golden key on it. She tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her delight, it fitted. Alice opened the door and looked into the loveliest garden she had ever seen. How she longed to be among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains. But she could not even get her head through the doorway. "Oh, how I wish I could become smaller," she exclaimed loudly. Adapted from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. So this this short story has been adapted from the whole story Alice in Wonderland, written by Lewis Carroll. Here are some new words: scampered, hurried, popped, disappeared, whiskers. I repeat: scamper, hurried, pop, disappeared, whisker. Reading is fun. While listening to the story, what did Alice see? What was different about the rabbit that Alice saw? Where did the rabbit go? How did Alice reach Wonderland? What strange things did Alice see? Describe in your own words the garden that Alice saw. Next, draw the garden of your dreams. Here is a space for your drawing. Take the correct answer. The rabbit had, you have 3 options: white eyes, big eyes, pink eyes. Who was burning with curiosity? 3 options again: Alice, the rabbit, children. Who fell down and down and down? Alice, a mouse, the rabbit. Who said, "Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting"? 3 options: The rabbit, Alice's sister. The garden Alice saw was big, lovely, small. Let's talk. Describe some of the sounds you hear at night. Imagine you are Alice and your partner is a rabbit. What would you do? What do you think Alice saw in the garden? How could Alice have got into the garden? Let's write. Find one word from the story that means A. To walk fast. And it starts with H. B. To think. And the word starts with W. Spelling begins with W. Next, happy. D. To be seen nowhere. Again D. E. At once. Q. F. Move fast. S. G. To be inquisitive, beginning with letter C. Give another word for the ones given below with similar meanings and make sentences. Now write the opposites of these describing words and make sentences with them. Lovely. Opposite, again you have to make a sentence of it. Talking, listening, see, center. These are the words. You have to write the opposite again, make sentence of each word, each opposite words. Imagine you are going on a journey to the center of the earth. What do you think you will see? What would you feel? Alice follows the strange rabbit because she wants to know a number of things. Rearrange the words to make the questions that Alice has in her mind and put a question mark. A talk rabbit, A. How, can. Going, he is where. Read, he can time. The hurry is in a why, he. So you have to rearrange the words to make the questions that Alice has in her mind and put a question mark. Now let's move back to the first lesson, the poem Why, and solve the questions. See? The first exercise, reading is fun. Name a few things that sink. Iron, stone, lead, marble, cup, plate, etc. List 3 questions that the little boy asked. 3 questions that the little boy asked are: why do wood swim and marble sink? What makes the clouds? Why do we eat and drink? What sort of a boy is described in the poem? 3 options: sad, curious, brave. And the correct answer is number B, curious. Let's talk. Ram is a curious little boy. He is always asking questions. One day, he came home and asked his grandfather questions like, why can't we look at the sun during a solar eclipse? Why can't we touch the sun? Why can't we go out to play in the dark? Discuss these questions with your teachers and class. Do you know the answers? Let's see this. Sample answers. 1. We can't look at the sun during a solar eclipse because the light of the sun can prove harmful for our eyes. 2. The sun is a ball of fire. It is too hot to touch. It is also too far to reach or touch. Proper light is essential for activities like playing games. We may fall down or get hurt if we play in dark. That's why we can't play in the dark. Next, word building. Fill in the blanks with words from the poem which rhyme with the colored words. We have the sentences. Answer. Why is the sky so high? Why do you know the color of? Do you know the color of? Here it's written no. Have you found who made the clouds? Put the glass in the sink after you finish your drink. Here the word sky and why sky, they rhymed. No, they rhymed. Found, clouds, they rhymed. Sink, drink, they rhymed. Moving on. The spelling of these words are jumbled. Put them right and make sentences of your own. See? The first one, no. I don't know the answer of these questions. Swim. He swims for hours during weekends. Lead is a heavy metal. Marble. The building is made of white marbles. Hills. It is difficult to climb the hills. Let's write. Discuss and write. Why do cats and dogs fight? Dogs are not friendly to cats. Whenever they meet, they start fighting because dogs make attempts to kill cats who are forced to fight with them to save themselves. Why do we walk across the road, not run? We don't run but walk across the road to avoid accidents. There are so many vehicles on the road. In such a situation, we are supposed to walk on it carefully without disturbing others. Why do people like ice creams? People like ice creams because they feel exciting to eat such a cold, sweet thing. Write down at least 2 questions using why. Why are you crying so loudly? Why do you speak so rudely? Fun time. Painting with onion halves and bottle tops. See, this exercise drawing, you have to try it. It will be fun. Let's move on to the next lesson. Alice in Wonderland. Questions from the textbook solved. First exercise, reading is fun. While listening to the story, what did Alice see? Alice saw a white rabbit while she was listening to the story. What was different about the rabbit that Alice saw? The rabbit that Alice saw had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. He could talk like humans. Where did the rabbit go? The rabbit jumped into a big rabbit hole and went down and down. How did Alice reach Wonderland? Alice reached Wonderland by following the white rabbit. What strange things did Alice see? Alice saw a lovely garden with beds of bright flowers and cool fountains. Describe in your own words the garden that Alice saw. The garden that Alice saw was the most beautiful garden she had ever seen. It had beds of bright flowers and cool fountains. Draw the garden of your dreams. The question is very subjective. You have to try this yourself. Next questions. Tick the correct answer. The rabbit had pink eyes. Who was burning with curiosity? Alice. Who fell down and down and down? The rabbit. Who said, "Oh my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting?" The rabbit. The garden Alice saw was lovely. Let's talk. Describe some of the sounds you hear at night: barking of street dogs and sounds made by the watchman. Imagine you are Alice and your partner is a rabbit. What would you do? I would request the rabbit to become my friend and take me to the Wonderland. What do you think Alice saw in the garden? Alice saw beds of bright flowers. She saw cool fountains, beautiful birds, and fruit trees. How could Alice have got into the garden? Alice could have got into the garden by becoming smaller. Let's write. Find one word from the story that means to walk fast, hurried, to think, wonder, happy, delight, to be seen nowhere, disappeared, at once, quickly, move fast, sleep, scampered, to be inquisitive, curious. Give another word for the ones given below with similar meanings and make sentences. Make sentences with each of the opposites of these describing words and make sentences with them. Here the words are lovely, talking, listening, see, center. Words with similar meanings, sentence. Lovely, beautiful. I have a beautiful puppet. Talking, chatting. My brother was chatting with his friends. Listening, hearing. I can hear you very well. See, look. The teacher said to the students to look at the blackboard. Center, core. We should be serious to our core problems. Word with opposite meanings, sentence. Lovely, ugly. He made an ugly remark. Talking, quiet. He is quiet by nature. Listening, speaking. He is speaking English fluently. See, ignore. Don't ignore your elders' advice. Center, side. The beggar was sitting by the side of the road. Imagine you are going on a journey to the center of the earth. What do you think you will see? What would you feel? You may answer, I would see layers of different types of soils. I would also see layers of groundwaters. I would feel excited. Answer may vary from one person to another, one student to another. Alice follows the strange rabbit because she wants to know a number of things. Rearrange the words to make the questions that Alice has in her mind and put a question mark. talk rabbit. A. How can a rabbit talk? Going, he is where. Where is he going? Read, he can't. Time, the. Can he read the time? Hurry is in a way. In a, why he? Why is he in a hurry?